What's up, guys? It's Maxwell Comics Inc. I'm your host, Maxwell, and today we're going to be reacting to WEISS versus ASUNA, Ruby versus Sword Art Online Cartoon Fight Club. So, yeah, let's react to this another Ruby Cartoon Fight Club.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to yet another episode of the third season of Cartoon Fight Club. This is yet another Ruby-themed episode, so I really hope you saw Ruby versus Maka before you watched this one.
We did.
It's a very underrated episode, but if you have seen that and if you know how the game is played, then let's get ready for the fight. Tonight we have a battle between the hottest Sword Art Online character and the third hottest Ruby character, ASUNA versus WEISS Schnee. And that's right, I said
WEISS
third
is
hottest.
right up there. She's kind of white, but still.
Think who I think the first two are. But yeah, I'm getting off topic. Let's not waste any time and introduce Cartoon Fight Club's next round of fighters. The story of ASUNA begins in the real world where life is pretty average, nothing too crazy, until a wacky game company comes out with a new hip game known as Sword Art Online. This game was still in beta, so only 10,000 lucky or unlucky people got their hands on it. As you can guess, one of those people that received the game was, that's right, ASUNA's brother. You probably didn't guess that if you had no idea. I wasn't building up for that. But anyway, however, her brother had a pretty busy lifestyle, and the week that he was going to play the game, he had an important business trip to attend to. So guess what? He didn't play the game. What does someone like ASUNA do when she sees a brand new virtual reality game untouched? Well, she did what any teenager would do, and she hooked herself up. But to her unfortunate decision-making, anyone who signed on to this game during its beta release was trapped. The only way to get out was to beat the game. And if you die in the game,
That's a good
you die
movie.
in real
It's
life.
kind of like Jumanji.
It's quite an original plot trope, if you ask me. Like, where on earth have we seen this before? I can't name any other fictional scenario with something just like this. It's honestly very original. Forgive my sarcasm. I have no room to talk. My entire channel is built off of unoriginality, so I guess I have to give Sword Art Online a pass. Besides, we're getting off track, so let's get back to ASUNA. Before anyone uses a plot hole argument on me, please note that I am compositing ASUNA, only because if I wasn't, I don't know how any SAO crossover fight would work without plot holes ruining the fun. So yeah, ASUNA started off the game like any noob, helpless and unexperienced, but soon after, she met Kirito, and that quickly changed. Together, they formed a great duo, and spoiler alert, they eventually made it back to the real world and restarted many new games, so on and so forth. In these games, ASUNA is iconically known for wielding the Lambient Light and the Chivalric Rapier. Both of these are rapier-type blades that are wielded with one hand, making them light swords built for speed. She has learned an arrangement of moves, such as the Flashing Penetrator, Star Splash, Quadruple Pain, and
I'm also kind of making an intro for I'm taking an animation class, so that should be fun. But I should really be listening, so
for example, the Quadruple Pain is a 4-hit combo, the Star Splash is an 8-hit combo similar to that of an 8-sided star, the Flashing Penetrator is a single penetrating slash. ASUNA is also pretty skilled with healing her teammates and with magic. She is great with water manipulation and is a skilled underwater combatant. Her biggest challenge in this fight is the fact that it is a solo battle. She has very little solo combat skills and is usually under the wing of Kirito when things go wrong.
I think a lot of people in Ruby are just like too overpowered from people on other shows, you know? With aura and their semblance, and then they're so awesome.
Tactics and has ways to manipulate magic. Oh no. Most people hate dust.
I hate dust. I don't want it building up in my home.
But some people love dust. In the world of Remnant, there are many great reasons to love dust. Dust is your only legit way to stay alive when being attacked by the grim creatures. However, when I mention dust, I mean the stuff that comes out of the multi-action dust rapier. The stuff that is manufacturally produced that everyone needs a Schnee Industries. I'm kidding, but a name like Everyone Needs a Schnee is way cooler than Schnee Dust Company. But then again, I'm not a marketing major, so I have no idea how to sell dust. But this dust is a bit different from the stuff that grows on your shelf. This dust is the primary source of ammunition that protects countless of lives. Since it is in high demand, WEISS and her family became pretty wealthy, to say the least. But don't write WEISS Weiss off as some snobby rich chick. Even though she does have her moments, she clearly cares about life as she puts herself on the front line just to protect the innocent. Weiss's main blade is known as the Mirtnester, and it kind of reminds me of those multicolored push pens. You know, the ones where each corner has its own color? Well, in a far-reaching way, the Mirtnester works in a similar fashion as those push pens, except instead of penning, you can change between different dust options, from fire dust, water dust, wind dust, electric dust, steam dust, and ice dust. These dust types are extremely self-explanatory. They're all elemental-based ammunition, but what isn't self-explanatory is Weiss's unique ability to form glyphs. This is her unique semblance ability. With the glyph formation technique,
well, not really unique to her because her family has it. So Winter has it, and everyone in her family has it.
ricochet incoming attacks, and can use them to brace impact. She can combine the glyphs with specific types of dust to make them even more powerful depending on the type of enemy she's facing. Weiss can also use her glyphs to summon avatars of her previously slain enemies. Now the thing is, if she's summoning enemies she's previously beaten, then anything she summons without question is weaker than her. So she usually doesn't need this to win her battles, but every now and then it is a unique tactic to use in specific situations. Weiss's biggest issue is her dust limitation. She doesn't have an infinite amount of ammunition, and as soon as she runs out, her entire arsenal is pretty much useless. All of her glyph and range techniques are powered by dust, and in a sense, she is pretty much a one-trick pony. And with no ammunition, she becomes an extremely vulnerable target. Overall, Weiss is a very fast and skilled warrior. While she is very one-dimensional in terms of power source, she is extremely useful while supplied with dust. And now let's set ourselves a circumstance. This battle will not have any preparation and will take place on Earth. This is composite ASUNA, so we can still use her video game abilities, even though it's not in the video game sense. With all this in mind, let the battle begin.
Looks like a Ruby a little bit. Why is Weiss the antagonist? I like this animation a little better than the Rig vs. Mako one. The Rig vs. Mako one was really like claymation monster type thing. Like, it wasn't like the best, but it's like, it was fine. Nothing as good as Ring vs. Tifa, but in terms of animation, this, you know, this looks pretty decent. Is Weiss's sword bigger? That's her aura. Ooh, she got better animation. That's what they always think with these Ruby battles. Wait a minute, did Weiss just heal herself? I mean, yeah, aura can heal, but her aura, it looks like her aura was like depleted. So, I mean, I love Ruby characters winning, because I think Ruby characters always win because they're OP, their aura, their semblance, their battle, they're better than, like, I love Ruby characters. But do we have to win fair and square, guys? Let's see how this ends. Yeah, no, wait. Yeah, because they always, like, on Ruby characters, in the Yang vs. Tifa and Remember His Maka, and in here, you know, they cut them down, and then they're like, they think that their opponent thinks they're dead for like 20 seconds, and they come back stronger than ever, and so, yeah.
If you did enjoy that animation, special thanks to Croy Productions, and I do want to thank the matchup inspiration from the other series such as Diphonoids vs. Verdict and All-Star Showdown. Don't forget to check out Comics vs. Manga, Ruby vs. Maka, and the new series Cartoon Fight Club Story Mode. I hope you enjoyed those videos, and stay tuned for the post-analysis.
Stay for the post-analysis, guys. Let's do it.
And sadly, my preferred waifu takes the L, but I certainly can't just let Asuna win. Well, technically I could, but then I'd have tons of trouble finding good reasons why. Speaking of good reasons why the winner won, let's break down each step by category, explaining why WEISS takes the W.
Sonic, he's the fastest thing alive.
When it comes to speed, Asuna can scale to Kirito, who is fast enough to slice head-on rifle bullets. Rifle bullets travel much faster than pistol bullets, roughly 2.5 times the speed of sound. WEISS, on the other hand, can easily scale and keep up with Ruby, who I've calculated in the previous matchup between Maka is easily up to 6 times the speed of sound. If we lowball WEISS to scale her as half the speed of Ruby, which is serious downplay, she would still be faster than Asuna by roughly 30% at about 3 times the speed of sound. Plus, WEISS's glyphs can use time dilation to make every second seem longer, in return giving her more of a speed and reaction edge over Asuna. At the very least, WEISS is at least 20% faster, and with a direct scale, she can be up to as twice as fast, and with time dilation implemented, she can react even faster than that. The category of speed goes to WEISS.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm eating a snack. Put them back.
Character is exactly known to be super buff heavy lifting powerhouses, but they do have considerable scales regardless. When it comes to lifting strength, Asuna doesn't have exactly anything noticeable that is above peak human, but in terms of striking strength, she has defeated many large bosses, larger than small buildings, such as a boss at floor 27. The problem for Asuna is that WEISS can not only scale to similar striking strength. Time out. Did I just say WEISS?
WEISS.
What am I? WEISS. WEISS Schnee. Sorry, guys. But also scale to lifting strength as well, since she can easily scale to Ruby, who has lifted a Nevermore that can easily weigh up to 9 tons. The category of strength, without question, has to go to WEISS.
You got the touch. You got the power.
Power and durability.
In terms of raw power and natural durability without any dust, Asuna does take an edge here. Asuna is a healer, and while we have seen both survive some pretty nasty sword slashes, on a more consistent basis, Asuna is naturally more powerful and durable, but this is just in the sense without any dust factored in. When you factor in WEISS's dust, she can easily outpace Asuna in both categories. Her semblance can easily block and bulldoze far heavier impacts than we've seen Asuna do. And yes, Asuna is a healer, but she's far more inclined at healing others rather than herself, especially during the heat of combat.
We don't need no education.
Being 1 year older, Asuna does have a slight experience advantage, but when it comes to tactical combat intel, especially in one-on-one solo scenarios, WEISS takes a clear advantage. Both characters are far better known for being team players, but at the very least, WEISS does have a solid number of successful solo missions, whereas Asuna really doesn't have a consistent track record without any outside help or interference. While WEISS has a slight EXP disadvantage, it is only a slight one since they are similar in this category. However, she is far more independent, thus giving her a huge edge with solo combat intel.
Countdown.
All in all, this is a fairly considerable victory for WEISS. It's not a complete stomp, as she does have to put effort into a victory, but it is a victory she can achieve without pushing herself to the complete limit. She is at least 30% faster, and at the most, twice as fast. She holds a significant strength, power, durability, and intelligence edge, and while she does have slightly less experience, this alone isn't going to stall all the other considerable large gaps in the previously mentioned things. And while Asuna does have slight flight capabilities, WEISS can keep up with this thanks to her glyphs
We're
of
gonna go
ability
back to
perform
saying
mid-air
Ruby on my
platforms,
wall.
making the winner of this battle WEISS Schnee.
Go
now,
WEISS.
we want to see a swordsman free-for-all with the likes of Minecraft Steve, Terrera, ASUNA, Kirito, Akame, Ichigo, Dante, and many more swordsmen just like this video. For as little as 3,000 likes, this will happen. So smash that like button. I don't usually offer free-for-alls, and so...
Alright, so that was ASUNA versus WEISS. I don't know much about ASUNA. I'm happy WEISS won. I think WEISS deserves it. She's she's like the least durable of the Ruby girls. Well, not the least. I think like Blake and Yang are the most durable of the Ruby girls. Because I don't think WEISS and, well, I try to take that back. Ruby is the least durable, but I don't really know. Well, actually, Ruby got a little more tough. Volume 4. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know if that was her. I don't know if WEISS can heal herself, because she had this little moment where she was, like, healing herself, and it was really weird. But, I mean, I guess John did it. Maybe her aura wasn't completely depleted, so, I don't know. But anyway, that was cool. That was the WEISS versus ASUNA, Cartoon Fight Club thing, and I will link the video down below. Go show that some love. Go like that channel, because I will be reacting to a lot of stuff from that channel. So we're not watching that right now. Anyway, this is Max from Comics Inc. I'm your host, Max. So may the power protect you. Bye.